Now, this is something that takes a lot of effort and energy to do. But as we get to know each other as a class, it will really enhance the connection you will be able to achieve with your virtual or mediated speeches if you can imagine the audience in front of you. So think about individual people that you respect, that you treasure, perhaps that you love in front of you listening to it. It makes a big difference. Now, when presenting to a camera, you want to maintain an energetic delivery. And I have tried to model that on our lectures. I would ask you to do the same. If you watch a speech that you've recorded and you're putting yourself to sleep, perhaps re-record it when you are more awake. Use a brighter light, open your eyes, look at the camera, those kinds of things. That will be such a gift for your audience. One thing that you want to do to keep your audience engaged, especially in mediated presentations, is to emphasize key takeaways. So one of the key takeaways that I mention in almost every lecture is that when you are giving a speech, you are giving it as a gift to the audience. That's a key takeaway. And realizing that and knowing that and remember that will do so much mileage for you. It reduces nerves and helps you to feel relaxed and comfortable. It also aids you when you're preparing and when you're giving that speech. It helps in your audience analysis, in your research, in your energy, just everything. That's why remember that if you forget everything else, that your speech is a gift you're giving to your audience. By the way, the primary source of light, and that's one reason why I've noticed as I've recorded different lectures that I really like the way the lighting works at night, actually, or dusk, is because you should have a primary main light source that is in front of the speaker. So for me, that's behind my camera and facing the speaker. And it helps at night or dusk because there aren't these competing light sources that are going to mute the light in front of your face as much. So it doesn't mean you have to record your speeches at night, but make sure you have bright light whenever you are recording them, and your bright light should be behind your camera. Now, you should review the recording of yourself, especially because we won't really have that many recorded speeches for this class, and this is a class to grow. So you should review it, and you should ask at least these 4 questions. Does your setting look professional? On my lectures for you, I've shown you 2 backgrounds. The blue curtain, which I think works pretty well, happens to be my patio curtain. There, it goes out to the deck. And the other background that I've showed you is a corner of the front wall of my house, the bricks there. I do like outside, just to be outside lighting. But outside lighting is trickier to get just right. Inside, you have more control over where your light's coming from. Does your setting look professional? Sometimes people say a blank background. You can make it a little bit personal, but don't show us like all of your wall hangings behind you, especially if they're not very organized, because that will distract some of the audience. Do you appear to be looking at your audience? Do I appear to be looking at my audience? That is something that I have strive to do. I did not look at my audience very well when I began recording lectures. I was a lot of times looking at my slides or myself, like, what am I doing? And I realized I cannot look at you and at myself at the same time. So right now when I'm looking at the camera, I can sort of see myself out of the corner of my eye, but I'm not looking at myself. I'm looking at you through the camera. The third question is, are my rate and volume appropriate? So you're going to have to listen to your lecture afterwards or your speech to know those things. Could you understand yourself? Again, we don't want the runaway train. Speak distinctly. Speak one thought with the audience at a time. And then if you use presentation aids, can they be clearly seen? So we will have at least one speech with presentation aids, and I haven't decided yet whether it will be recorded video or whether we'll do it live through mediated technology. But either way, we got to practice with the visual aids, make sure that they appear correctly in the camera. The clothing that a speaker wears for a mediated presentation